Hey, I thought I'd do a quick video on Dead Cells. I checked my email, and I got this key from Keymailer. I was mildly interested in this game, but I don't know, the whole gaming media, the gaming journalism, all they keep saying this game is supposed to be Dark Souls. It is not Dark Souls, because if it was Dark Souls, I would not be interested in playing it, because Dark Souls is way too slow for me. I'm not a big fan of having a stamina bar dictate everything in terms of what your character can do, the actions and stuff. This game is not Dark Souls. I've played this for a little bit of time now, several runs. It is definitely a really breakneck fast-paced game. Like, it may look like Dark Souls, it may have some things in common with it, but the combat is way more involved. You know, you can't do like combos and stuff in this game, but you have to pay attention to what you're doing. It has a lot more in common with, I guess what you could say is maybe a hardcore, you know, Egavania game. You have the same kind of options. You have a roll, a double jump. The movement is very solid. It is not like some other games like this where you have very slow movement. You can even jump out of a roll. You start with this basic sword, which is one of the faster weapons that I've seen, but it doesn't do that much damage. Now, in terms of the persistent elements, you get cells from enemies, and as long as you finish the first area, you can go to the NPC and you can put the cells towards persistent items. There are things like extra healing potions you can get, as well as just unlocking stuff for the pool. And you can also get random starter weapons at the beginning, but I haven't been able to unlock those yet. You also get blueprints from enemies or certain drops, and if you get to that NPC again in that same run, then that will unlock it and you can start to put cells towards that for future runs. So the persistent elements in this is not, you know, grind to just make everything easy. It's more grind to have more options, and you do get the healing potions, but I really don't know how much easier that makes things get. You do have to be paying attention to this game at all times. You can't just mash buttons. Just because the game is faster than all the what all the gaming media is stupidly comparing it to, you do have to really pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just push buttons. So I'm going to go through one run here and see how far it goes. Now, the shield is pretty cool. You can actually cancel at any time. If an enemy hits you during that time, if it's a melee attack, then he'll get stunned. So defense is really rewarded. See if I can do it here. There you go. Also, your ground pound move by holding down will also stun enemies. You can see how fast-paced this is. I'm not really sure why it's being compared to games that have much slower gameplay speeds or flows in general. I was kind of turned off this game at the beginning because it just kept getting compared to Dark Souls, and Dark Souls has never been something I've been interested in playing personally. But the speed of this game is awesome. Definitely not a stylish game in terms of what your character can do. You know, the amount of things that you can do is still pretty limited by maybe today's standards, but you can still, you know, weave through attacks and stuff like that. So there we go, there's a blueprint. So that unlocked an extra item that I can start to put cells towards. So even if you have trouble getting past the second level like I am right now, you can still make some progress as long as you get here. Right now I'm working on the second healing potion so that I can invest in this other stuff later on. So in about 2 more runs of getting here, I should be able to get that second potion. Now I can continue to work towards the other stuff since I got that blueprint. Pretty cool progression system. I know, you know, some people don't like roguelites because they often tend to devolve into just grinding. I actually watched a video before I accepted the key. I wasn't sure if this was something I really wanted to put time into. I watched someone play through the current length of the demo with just the basic stuff, so it's definitely not a game where you just grind. In terms of when this will be available for, you know, people who aren't getting the keys and stuff like that, it will be available on May 10th in early access. So just a couple weeks to go. See how small stuff like the movement speed of the character, being able to cancel most of your actions, really goes a long way to making the game feel more responsive. That was pretty cool. Oh man. It definitely rewards knowing the movesets and stuff, and obviously I've only been playing this for about an hour, so I'm not at that point yet. But there's a run of Dead Cells. You can see just how much potential this game is. I think they only have content up to the first boss right now, but there's plenty of stuff to unlock. I believe they are still accepting beta tests, or beta testers. So I'm going to go ahead and link to the Steam page. I think you can sign up over there. I actually signed up for the beta because I've been following their Twitter, and they've been posting a bunch of animated GIFs and little small snippets of the gameplay, and I thought it looked pretty cool. But unfortunately, you know how the gaming media is right now. Like, anything that has any kind of an ounce or a molecule even of like difficulty that's an action game, it instantly gets compared to Dark Souls. You can tell that they had some inspiration from Dark Souls, but obviously that's not really how the game plays. It has a much more fast pace, and just because you can take a little bit of damage and you don't have crazy combos and stuff doesn't mean that it's a Dark Souls game. It definitely is a lot faster. You have to pay more attention, and especially since there's only, you know, 2 dimensions in this game, the positioning can matter even more in some cases. If you roll through something and there's another enemy right there, you can take damage. You have to really think fast in this game, and I'm still kind of adapting to it, but the game is fun. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised to wake up and get the email over this, so I'll probably play this more as it progresses through early access. Anyway, I wanted to get this out because they were nice enough to give me this key without me even asking for it. I'll probably play this more throughout May, especially since I'm not really planning on doing any other projects throughout May, at least any stuff that I'm going to be paying for. So I'm going to be playing this and the other Key Mailer games throughout May, as well as some other projects as well. Anyway, catch you guys later. Peace.